Okay. Hi and welcome. I'm Robin Forster with Feel So Alive, and my guest is Paula Free. Paula, you want to say hello?
Hi, how's everyone?
Excellent, thanks. And we know that folks are going to be watching this on the replay because we just go ahead and do this ahead of time and then I pull it into the program, and that way we have less interesting things happen. So it makes life a little bit easier. This is Feel So Alive and Feel So Alive Informed, and I'm looking down at my notes because there's lots of things I want to make sure I say and the questions I'm going to ask Paula. I am a solo entrepreneur and I'm fascinated with health and wellness, both yours, mine, and the planet, and aging gracefully. And that's what brings us to our fascinating speaker today. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit about Paula's background and then we'll get into letting her talk about what she's got going on. So Paula is a mother of two adult grown children. She has owned and managed a number of beauty salons. She has also managed a developmental disabilities home, and this fit well with her home life because her son has autism. And what's funny is that Paula and I used to live down the street from each other, and our kids knew each other, and we hadn't seen each other for a bazillion years and ran into each other at a networking event. And it was like, you look so familiar. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So that was kind of fun. Anyway, so with Paula's story, since there was a gap in our history, she met her current husband about 20 years ago, and one of the things that they enjoy are motorcycle rides on their Harley. And then on a beautiful spring day, they were out riding and they crested the top of a hill, and there was a stopped car in the middle of the road, which was a life changing event. 7 years later, 6 surgeries later, another life changing event. And that brings us to today. So, Paula, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself that we didn't talk about when I was sharing your bio?
Well, all of that kind of brings to my mind of the energy that I have and the fruitfulness of the several things that I've done. I've always been very creative, very energetic, and I just feel like I could rule the world at times. So as long as I don't have to spell anything, I'm great. I'm a terrible speller, but everything else I do really well. So,
Well, you and me both, so I relate really well to that. Love spell check.
yeah, thank God. I
Okay,
know.
so your background of managing beauty salons, owning your own salon, raising kids. I know you were a single parent in there for a while, and that takes a lot of balance and skill to be. So, resiliency seems to be a word that would really fit for your life to describe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's sounding. So my next question is, I don't think people know what the life-changing event was, and so how you got drawn to creating this nonprofit. So would you share your story?
Yes, I'd love to. Life-changing event. We crashed our motorcycle into the back of a car. Basically, as she said, 6 surgeries, 7 years passed with all body parts. And then in the seventh year, bones were softening, screws were coming out. And we made the decision to amputate my left leg below the knee. So when that happens, you go through kind of, a lot of people go through depression. You feel so alone. And meeting a few other amputees enlightened me to realize that it's not that bad. And actually had it amputated twice. Pointy bones, skinny frame, that kind of stuff. So they had to round it off again. And after that, I literally took off running. So that we'll stop there.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of stories, and you've condensed this life-changing event into just a couple of paragraphs. And since we're talking 7 years, 6 surgeries, it sounds like there was a lot going on. And then after the amputation, so what was it that you found as you were trying to find your community, so to speak, other people who were in the same situation or similar, what was it that you found out?
Basically, what I found out that there's no community here for amputees. But luckily enough, I did find another community. There is a huge organization called Amputee Coalition. I went to my first conference back east, and I was so overwhelmed. And then I met a girl that I'd been hearing about for quite a time, and she is a right below the knee amputee. I heard great things about her, and we have like 25 things in common. And when I finally met her in person, and we're just chit chatting like two women do, and she mentioned something about running. And it's like, oh, you did what? Um, I guess my mindset and what I've seen in lots and lots of amputees is you really don't think you're going to be able to do the things you did before. And then when you meet somebody that is doing those things you never thought you could do, and hopefully your mind opens up enough to realize, well, if she can do it, or they can do it, I can do it. So it started off with that. And then I went outside and I tried to run, and that's like really trying to walk for the first time with basically a 2x4 on the end of your leg. It's not, but that's what you feel like. Then, how, how do you, how do you make your body do that? How do you go up a hill for the first time? That was probably the worst. How do you go down a hill? You feel like you're just going to tip over and fall on your face. There's all those things that your mind restricts you from doing. So once you start realizing you can do that, and then what led me to this is once I learned how to do it, and this is so much fun, and I'm enlightened about myself, I just wanted to find a whole bunch of friends to go do it with me and a whole bunch of other amputees. Still not thinking of starting a nonprofit, mind you. Just wanted to find friends. So the rest was pretty much an accident.
Interesting, but I like what you're saying about you met somebody, made a connection. They, like you were saying, blew your mind on, oh, there is a lot of things that you can do that you hadn't considered.
Mhm.
The challenges of trying to actually walk, much less run, and how that was a whole new world. And so, why don't you tell us about starting the nonprofit? And we should let people know that we are in Eugene, Oregon, because this story may be a little different on the East Coast, like you were saying that you went to the convention and met a lot of other people. So tell us about this nonprofit and what that's all about.
So basically, as I mentioned a minute ago, is I wanted to find friends to go run with me, to go play, second childhood maybe. It started with just running, then it went to rock wall climbing, it went to hiking, and it's like, wow, that amputee over there can ride a bike. I bet I can do that too. Now I have a bike, it just grew and grew and grew. And then wanting to go to the Amputee Coalition, women's retreats for amputees, it just, well, another friend of mine basically said, why don't you start a nonprofit? There isn't one here. And, we looked, we searched, communicating with doctors, they don't do referrals. So lo and behold, I started the nonprofit. So basically, the nonprofit has three main programs. We have a peer visiting program. So I'm a certified peer visitor. I've been trained through the Amputee Coalition. Now I'm a the trainer, so I train other peer visitors. And with that being said, our biggest goal right now is to enlighten all the medical professionals out there that do from everything from PTs to OTs to chiropractors to orthopedic surgeons, vascular surgeons. I could go on, but you get it. So we want them to know we're out here and we want to build friendships and families and help people through those bad times and those in between times, because it doesn't just stop. It keeps on going. As you I've been an amputee now for 9 years. And every now and then I have to call somebody and say, what happens when this happens? I got my leg stuck on this morning. How do I get it off? Well, something was stuck in the pin. And, I finally worked it and got it off. So I've had to call my prosthetist on a Saturday and ask him, how do you get it off? And that kind of stuff. So you learn things and you share. And I had a girl call me the other night about an issue she was having. The other one is we do monthly support meetings. So we call it kind of our silver lining right now is COVID stopped us from meeting in person. Then we discovered Zoom, right? Now we meet on Zoom, but when I meet, I have friends from Texas and Arkansas and New Hampshire, Pismo Beach, California, Sacramento, here in Eugene and Springfield, Corvallis. So it's made it, excuse me, kind of nice because when you have the in-person meetings, some of those people can't drive yet. So now they can pop into a Zoom meeting. And my most favorite thing is our activities and conferences. So we do bike day events, kayaking events, rock wall climbing events. We've done archery. I'm probably forgetting. We just did 2 ski events. And one of the kids that we're taking, he is so good. We hope to get him involved in the Paralympics, which is like big dollar signs, right? So we also do fundraisers for these kids that want to do things. I have a little buddy that's missing both his hands from right about here down. He was born that way. And in fact, we took him skiing. He did this kid can do anything you put in front of him. Open a bottle and he doesn't have hands. He knows how to open a bottle. It's just, he plays the drums. So we did a fundraiser, got him prosthetics, and he plays the drums now with prosthetics, which before he just used little Nike bands and did the best he could do. He also can shoot a bow. So we got him this grip that holds on with the prosthetics. And so those are my favorite things to do, is do fundraisers for kids so they can learn and build and grow in a really, really positive way. And it just energizes me to even do more. So we are in the early stages of planning our 4th conference. Last year, of course, it got put on hold. So this would be number 5, but it's number 4. And, we're not quite sure how we're going to structure it yet, but I have huge ideas and I'm sure it'll all come together great.
Maybe it's a conference 4.5 because of 2020.
It was in our heart, believe me.
But what you're doing and the way that you're opening up the world and supporting folks who it sounds like probably weren't feeling like the world could be open to them anymore. It's fascinating that you're able to do that and to share that and especially to have that in the Eugene, Oregon area where we are. It sounds like you have really filled a huge gap that was here. And do you have a website? How do people get in touch with you?
I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, Power On With Limb Loss, Power On With Limb Loss on Facebook, www.poweronwithlimbloss.com. If you just Googled amputee support in Oregon, I'm going to pop up. Power On With Limb Loss is going to pop up. I've been known to go hang out in grocery stores and meet amputees out in the parking lot and in the store and block doorways. And, that is really, really fun when you run into other amputees and, how do you introduce yourself? The little kids, I love summertime because I can wear a dress, I can wear shorts, and it kind of freaks little kids out. And one evening I was sitting on the floor at Walmart, just showing them how cool it was to pop my leg on and off and then stand up and dance around and show them I can run. And not that I was running through Walmart, but, letting and next, and, then one little boy, he was 2 years old. What did he call me? The bionic grandma. So, I thought, well, they need to have t-shirts made saying that, right? But
I love
yeah,
it.
bionic superhero, I don't know, it's just all fun. But I would rather say I'm paying it forward and developing a family and a community for people. My husband's yelling at me. People to help me and me to help other people, and makes it kind of fun.
Neat. Well, I know that you have to go because you have another commitment, and so I'm watching the clock, and I'm guessing that's why your husband is hollering for you, is because
Yeah,
you guys need to leave.
yeah, yeah.
So I just wanted to thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
This has been great.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. We'll talk soon.